Good evening. This is Carrie from wildflowerartbycarrie.com. How's everyone this evening? I'm on tonight, wanting to do a little garden tour, and I'm thanking my husband because he has installed an outdoor access for my internet. So we're gonna go see if we can go around the yard tonight and a little further and show you some more things other than just the patio. But right now I kind of wanted to show you my view that I see when I walk up from my greenhouse and everything that is blooming and looking beautiful. And the Russian sage and the yellow coreopsis and the hibiscus there. In fact, let me get a little closer to that hibiscus because usually I can only show it at a distance. But it's almost done blooming. It's had a lot of blooms this summer, and it's just beautiful. It's got that pink center. I think people kind of call these Rose of Sharon too, but when I bought it from Proven Winners, they had it labeled as a hibiscus. So, and then we got the beautiful Russian sage, which usually the bees are all over this right now. I'm not sure where the bees are tonight. It's kind of breezy, so they might be just away because of the breeze. And then in I call this my north garden, I got some Maximilla sunflowers that are popping their little faces out. And there's looks like a little bumblebee sleeping on one of them there. And some cosmos coming in. So everything's looking really good for July. We've had a really nice week of weather in the 80s, low 90s, which is really nice for the garden. The garden doesn't stress too much with that weather. So everything is looking just gorgeous. But I want to pan down towards my field because I never get to take you guys down there. And like I said, my husband has installed an outdoor internet access. So I'm hoping that I'm not going to lose you, but we have good coverage. So he's actually on here tonight and he'll let me know if we start to break up. But I wanted to take you for a little walk tonight. We've had lots of rain showers this past couple weeks. You can see we have almost like a little arroyo, a little river arroyo here that had started and dried up from all the rain that's been coming our way, which I'm so very thankful and happy for. Yes, yay, rain for Gemma Gardner. Yes. So we usually miss it. It usually stays down in the valley, but we've been lucking out this year, so. But anyway, all this coreopsis is basically growing wild. I did not water it. We had a big, along this fence right here, my pile of spent blooms and everything, and then we have a chipper and we chip them every spring. So everything that's coming up, like this is a Tithonia. Oh no, I'm sorry, those look like sunflowers. So we had sunflowers, Tithonia, we got zinnias coming up here. It's just really just self-sowed with all the water, but there's like baby zinnias down there. So I'm just letting it all go. I don't water it. And we'll have a nice colorful show, hopefully this fall, once they come up. And I do have like a cosmos too. There's a cosmo right there in between the coreopsis. So we've got all kinds of seeds that kind of were from last year and that they're, like I said, going to be coming up and blooming shortly here in the next month or so. So that's exciting. And down here in this corner, that's an indigo bush. I got that from the city of Rio Rancho. Every year the city of Rio Rancho has a seedling giveaway. And I got a lilac bush. I've gotten some pines, all kinds of things. And this was one I got, and when they give away the seedlings, it is with just like a little twig with a little root wrapped in wet paper towel and newspaper. So this one is probably like 3 or 4 years old now. So it's getting bigger, and it does have little purple blooms on it. You can see that there, and that's kind of late for them. Usually they bloom in the spring and then they're done, but they're kind of going through another cycle. How about them go-heads? I used to have some in the field, but we dug them all out. We've been here 11 years, so we eradicated those. Yeah, same with us. We walk and they would crunch under our feet. They were horrible. But these are moonglow junipers. I love them because they're very drought tolerant, and I have 4 of them along the fence here, and I planted those about 3 years ago, and I just love the color of them. They're so pretty, and like I said, they can withstand hot temps and drought and things like that. So they're coming along and getting bigger. And this is a honeysuckle that was up in a pot by my house that I planted this spring, and it's still, I don't know, looks like it's kind of struggling. I need to give it a trim, I think. I'm hoping it'll root and do better as once we get some cooler weather and stuff. But it's hanging in there. And then we have this massive sunflower that just sowed itself, and that was from a sunflower I had in my garden last year, and I'll post a picture of that when I post this video. So that sunflower head or whatever got shredded, and then the seeds got spread, and so now we have a new one here. Another moonglow juniper. Oh, and this is another City of Rio Rancho seedling giveaway. A golden currant bush, and I need to stake it because it's just kind of flopping over. So it's full of berries, which is really odd because every year the birds usually will wipe them clean, and this year they're not for some reason. So I guess you can eat these. I've never eaten them or anything, but I guess they make jams and things out of them. So might be something I look into another season. But you know what's interesting with the sunlight is that these moonglow junipers, I planted them at the same time. I got them at the same time. They're all about the same size. But the ones in the middle are bigger and fuller than the 2 on the end. So that one on the end over there, the smaller one, that one in the winter, because this is the south sky over here, so it gets a lot less sun because the fence shades it. So it's smaller. And then the 2 other ones are fuller. And then this one on the end, I mean, it gets a little more sun than the other one on the other end, but it's still kind of, smaller than the 2 in the middle. So it's amazing how sun and light can affect your plants. Yeah, so this is my lower end of my yard. My husband and I, we come out here and we will pop weeds out with a shovel. And you can see here that we have been popping out the ones that we don't want, and just let the sun bake them. So it's really easy. And then these grasses and stuff, I'm just kind of letting the grasses grow to help with the erosion. And I know they won't be getting too big. As far as goat heads, tumbleweeds, sagebrush and stuff like that, we kind of keep those out of our yard. But I want to give you a shot of the back of my house, and you can see the garden up there. And then also we have over here, we have the greenhouse. The back of the greenhouse, and let me give you a tour. So this is all we keep behind the scenes, all the messy stuff. I think everybody's got a little corner of their yard that they keep, I don't want to say they're junk, but just the things that they don't want people to see. So we have our trailer there, but then I put this together. I had a bunch of pallets hanging around. So this spring, instead of having our waste pile up against the fence like we had last year, I decided to make like a little compost area, and you can see all the deadheading and things that I have done so far since the spring. I mean, things are just blooming, and then you have to deadhead and get rid of things. So I made this out of the pallets, and it kind of is behind the greenhouse so people don't have to look at it, and everything can dry here. And then what we'll do is we will go ahead and chip that once spring comes next year, let that all dry out, and probably put the waste of it down the field again, so we get more seeds and stuff to have more growth of flowers and things coming up. So I am behind this shed, and there's our chipper. We have there my hose link. And let me show you this pile of wood I have here. These are just scrap pieces of wood that I keep for whatever I need them for. And we are going to be painting our shed this fall. And then we have some wood racks we're going to install on the back of the shed, and then those are going to be lifted up and out of the way. So I'm excited for that. And then my pile of bricks and concrete will be moved behind the shed as well, and get those kind of out of the sight or view. So when I take pictures and stuff, we don't have to look at those, as well as the compost tumbler. We're going to move that behind the shed too. So got some cleanup coming up this fall, just waiting for things to cool down. But let me take you in the greenhouse. I don't get to bring you guys out here, so now that I can, I'm going to do some more greenhouse stuff this winter and do some lives. But right now it's empty. I have shade cloth up to keep it cool. Shade cloth on the outside, and then I have the west side here blocked, and then some milk jugs I use for planting seeds and stuff. And we did get our fan going. The fan is running on solar panel that's outside, and the sun's going down, so it slowed right down. But this is it for now. Kind of messy. I gotta build tables so that I can get things off the ground. So that's my fall project. And there's my little heater that kept it warm through the winter, and it did really well. And we do run a cord from the house down, and we just plug it in at night. So, and then I have another shelf there, more shade cloth. But this past winter, it was beautiful in here. It was like the Wizard of Oz. You know, everything's all dead and brown outside, and then I'd walk into my greenhouse, and my geraniums were blooming, and amaryllis and statice and bougainvilleas. Everybody was so happy in here. My husband and I will be building tables and doing stuff, so to get more prepared, and so I can start seeds next season too. But this is what it looks like on the inside, and we do keep the shade cloth on the roof. That is to keep it cool in here, because right now it probably gets on the hot days. We were having high 90s a couple weeks ago. It was probably the low 100s. But this crushed stone heats up, so with the shade cloth on it, it really helps to keep it cool. So prior to putting the shade cloth on, it was about almost 120 or more. It was really hot, so we had to do something. I was kind of concerned. I'm like, I don't want it that hot in there. But yeah, let me show you the little solar panel. And this is our old coal frame that we used to use prior to having the greenhouse. I kind of have it rigged to hold my shade cloth on. So hey, you got to do what you got to do, right? But the shade cloth will come down once we get to cooler temps again. So this is the solar panel. This runs the fan, and that helps definitely keep the greenhouse cool. And what that fan does is it actually sucks the hot air from the inside and blows outward. So it doesn't bring air in, it actually brings the air out. And then I have 2 vents on either side here. One there, one on the other side, that bring the air in when the fan's on. And I did screen those in, and I did put chicken wire to keep mice and insects out. So, because we do have mice and rats around here, so. And then, of course, the Dutch door, I will leave the top open. So during the day, all 4 corners of the greenhouse are open and ventilating in there. So that helps. And yes, my greenhouse is called the Wildflower Casita. So that I thought was a cute name for it. So we'll go ahead. I'll give you one last pan down at the field there with all the coreopsis coming up. And I'm excited to see the cosmos coming up later, and zinnias and stuff too. And again, that all reseeded itself from a pile of just garden waste that we chipped and shredded from last season, and all those seeds got just sown by themselves and germinated with all the rain, and now they're coming up.